The following is a presentation of William Patterson University Television.
Welcome back to the desk. The Fall Classic is here, and Anthony, Joe P, Jimmy, and Joe M are here to break down everything in the World Series. Gentlemen, we'll start with you, Joe. You know, Game 1 was Tuesday night. The Braves got a victory. Charlie Morton broke his leg. But what did we see from that game? Look, it was a good one for the Braves.
Well, the Braves looked good here as we look at the stats and how they the tail of the tape here the other night. The Braves got off early against Framber Valdez. Jorge Soler, first player in World Series history with a leadoff home run in Game 1. As you look at the stats here, 6-2 the Braves won, out-hit the Astros 12-8. They both had an error apiece. The extra base hits is where it really mattered, though. The Braves with 4 extra base hits compared to the Astros 3, and the extra hit with the runners in scoring position definitely came in handy. The most impressive performance was Charlie Morton, of course. He did not make it out of the third inning, but being able to throw 16 pitches on a broken leg, including striking out Jose Altuve, is something that I think the Braves are going to rally around for the rest of the series.
Definitely something you can't scoff at, because I know it's hard to pitch without a broken leg, so just imagine it with one. Joe M., what did you see from Game 1?
Yeah, I mean, listen, overall, when going into Game 1, you're playing at Houston, Minute Maid Park. You know, the atmosphere is amazing there, but you have to give the Braves credit for what they did overall. That roster just pounded right off the bat, and Jorge Soler, he went 2 for 5, home run, 1 run, 2 RBIs. He was one of the benefactors in that lineup in Game 1.
Anthony?
Listen, what Charlie Morton did was great, and it's beyond impressive. And let's take a look at it at the unsung hero here for the Braves, and that's the bullpen. 6 2/3 innings, 2 runs, 7 hits, a walk, 8 strikeouts. Absolutely amazing stuff, especially coming in that early. But I don't mean to be doom and gloom here. But when you lose your best pitcher that early in the World Series, it's not the best sign. So more than happy for what the Braves did on Monday night or Tuesday night. But it's going to be tough going here.
Yeah, it's going to be rough because they were going to put out the 3-man rotation there with Anderson, Fried, and then Morton. But, you know, the plans are broken just with his leg. So it's very, very unfortunate. Jimmy, what did you see from Game 1?
What I saw from Game 1 is a testament to the Braves front office from all season. This is a team that had Ronald Acuna go down with a torn ACL, Mike Soroka out for the year again, Marcell Ozuna, we all know what happened with him. They bring in Eddie Rosario, balls out in the NLCS. They bring in Jorge Soler, leadoff home run. The bullpen's been immaculate, as Walker's been talking about. So, I mean, the Braves, they're in at 1-1. They go back to 3-game set in Atlanta. Theoretically, they can win it at home.
They can. You just alluded to it also. Game 2 was Wednesday night. The Astros got their victory back. It was a 7-2 victory. Anthony, we're going to look at some highlights. So what did you see from Game 2? We are, and we're going to, as you said, Samory, we're going to take a look at the highlights right here. We pick it up in the top of the second inning, 1-0 Astros, but not for long. Travis d'Arnaud absolutely crushes that one into left field. First home run of this postseason. That's off of Jose Urquidy. Astros looking to go up 2-0 in the series. Bottom of the second now, Jose Siri against Max Fried. Grounds one to second. Ozzie Albies cannot make the play. Siri beats it out. A run scores. It's 2-1. We're going to move on to the next batter now. Marc Maldonado, the number 9 hitter, is going to ground one through the hole on the left side. Look at this. Gurriel is going to round third and score. All right, no problem. Eddie Rosario throw. So throws to third with no one covering the base. That's going to allow Siri to get up and come on in to score. That's going to make it a 4-1 game. You see Rosario, who's been the hero of the postseason for Atlanta so far, bad error. It's going to make it a 3-1 game for Houston. And now this will cap off the inning. Michael Brantley lines one into right field. That scores Maldonado. It'll make it 5-1. Jose Altuve eventually added a home run to make it 7-2, and that would be your final. Now, I mentioned earlier, Max Fried didn't have a great start against the Dodgers in his last game. Doesn't have a great start here, and now with Charlie Morton out, it's kind of tough going forward for Atlanta right now. And Joe M., it's weird because Fried was so great to end his season. I believe he had a sub-2 ERA in his last 10 starts, plus the postseason up until the Dodgers start. So I know we're going into Game 3 tonight. So what are your expectations for Game 3?
Well, one thing Dusty Baker said at the end of Game 1, no need to worry. And he was right. Look at Game 2. The Astros bounced back right away. I mean, you take a look at Jose Altuve, 2 for 4. Urquidy, fighting pitch, 0 walks. That's key, not walking hitters, all right? Keep them out of scoring position. And, you know, the Astros, they just pounded Max Fried right off the bat. So you have to give credit to that lineup. It's a very talented lineup.
And before we go to you, Joe P., the Astros in their history have never won a Game 1 of the World Series. So Dusty Baker's right. Don't worry about Game 1 because it never really favors them either way.
Absolutely. And if we remember a couple years ago, that tightly contested World Series against the Nationals, they never got one off at home. So I think it's really important that the Astros were able to win this one at Minute Maid in front of their home fans. The lineup, absolutely outstanding. 7 out of the 9 guys got hits, and the other 2, Bregman and Alvarez, either scored a run or drove in a run. What is interesting about the Astros and going forward for the rest of the series, they don't play any close games. The games they lose, the games they win have all been lopsided. I think that the rest of the series, we're going to get a lot of blowouts on either side.
Jimmy?
Well, I think overall what you saw in Game 2 is just an Astros lineup that's built to beat lefties. You know, Max Fried we saw struggle in the NLCS. You know, you got guys like Carlos Correa, Alex Bregman, Altuve, Yuli Gurriel is one of the most underrated hitters in all of baseball, in my opinion. You know, you bring in Max Fried who's already struggling, asked to do more with Charlie Morton now. You know, he's going to have to step up later in this series for the Braves to win it all.
Now, gentlemen, everybody on this side of the desk, not you, Joe, we're all Yankee fans, and I don't know how we feel about Aaron Boone getting re-signed, but Jimmy, we'll stay with you. Do you think the Bombers made the right decision?
You know, overall, I'm a fan of continuity. I'm not a fan of the contract, though. It has been over 100 years since a Yankee manager has gotten into his 5th season without winning a World Series. I think overall, the onus has to be on Brian Cashman. If you can bring in guys to dominate like Corey Seager or Carlos Correa, you know, see Aaron Boone wins per year over here, 120 18, 103 in 2019, you know, down to 92 in 2021. The postseason, we have not made a World Series with him at the helm. He's got to do it this year. I think he's gone.
Joe?
Listen, despite the fact not what you wanted, 3rd place, lost the wild card game, finished 92 and 70, right? You have to look at the overall picture. Boone has taken the Yankees to the playoffs constant every single season. And I get it, maybe the contract's not the best that they gave him, but I think he's going to lead the team still because you can't blame everything on the coach. At some point, it's the players' fault too because that lineup is an all-star lineup.
Joe P?
Exactly, Joe. It's an all-star lineup. Exactly. They've been losing year in and year out in the playoffs.
But
here's the deal.
As a coach, you're going to do so much, Joe.
As the coach, if you say that the players are an all-star lineup, but yet they're losing in the playoffs routinely year after year, obviously it's on the manager, obviously on the coach. Continuity, schmontinuity. They didn't care about continuity when they brought in a bunch of young guys and kicked Joe Girardi to the curb. After taking him, Joe Girardi took the team further than Aaron Boone could ever have taken the Yankees. And even next year going into it, I don't care about continuity. If I'm the Yankees, I want a guy who can lead and motivate the guys in a way that Aaron Boone just can't.
Anthony?
This team has gone backwards since they hired Boone. They've hired Boone, they get to the ALDS. They hired 2019, they get to Game 6 of the ALCS. 2020, they lose in the division series. This year, they lose in the wild card. I don't know how you can bring this guy back. He's a career 11-11 in the postseason. You need to have results, and Aaron Boone hasn't had results. They had the perfect excuse to get Boone out of there with his contract expiring. They didn't. They bring it back. I don't know what the front office is doing.
But this season, I mean, overall, like, listen, Garrett Cole pitched the wild card game, right? You gonna blame Boone for that?
I mean,
That lasted only 2 innings.
When you're the manager, you instill an attitude on this team, right?
Right.
And I think this attitude has gone stale. I think Boone's an awful. I hate how he manages the bullpen, and I think his attitude on the team has kind of run dry on them.
Well, gentlemen, you guys are getting a little feisty here, so let's calm down a little bit. I know another surprise to me maybe were the Dodgers. You know, they had a Hall of Fame roster, I'd say. You know, Joe, and we're going to start with you. They have a lot of guys who will be on the market this free agency. Who do you think they need to retain?
Well, the blockbuster trade, Max Scherzer, right? When he went to the Dodgers during the trade deadline, I mean, look at his stats. His ERA is a 2.46. His FIP is a 2.97. Innings pitched, 172.1. WHIP, a .86. Strikeouts, 236. His overall record was 15-4. I mean, how can you not bring a guy like him back? 2-time Cy Young winner as well. He's a big factor in that starting rotation.
Add another one or two because he got 3. Jimmy, go ahead, sir.
You know, I'm going to take another Dodger pitcher, a guy who wasn't there in the postseason. Give me Clayton Kershaw. We can take a look at his stats here. This guy's a former MVP, 3 Cy Young Award winning, best pitcher in our generation, one of the best all time. 121 innings this year he pitched, a 3.55 ERA. You know, if he's in the rotation, we might be talking about the Dodgers-Astros World Series.
You're not wrong. You are not wrong. It would have been very interesting to see Clayton in there. Joe P.
Well, both of those guys are going to command a lot of money, and I'm going to look at the bullpen with Kenley Jansen. What he was able to do last year, as we look at his numbers, that ERA, 2.22, the 11.2 strikeouts per 9 innings, he was absolutely unbelievable. I think that the Dodgers have the starting pitching depth to kind of make do without Kershaw or without Scherzer, but their bullpen, they're also going to lose Joe Kelly. I don't know. I don't have a lot of faith in it without Kenley Jansen.
Anthony, close us out.
We're going to change it up a little bit. 3 pitchers, I'm going to go with the hitter. Give me Chris Taylor. This guy can play everywhere. Not to mention he killed it in the postseason. A 351 average, 4 home runs, a 1202 OPS. And like I said, he can play all over the field. 61 games in center, 46 games at second, 30 games in left, 23 games in shortstop. You can play on short, second, third, left, right. even third base. You can play him wherever, and he's going to fill a big hole for the Dodgers when they need him to.
Well, the Dodgers are going to have to, write some checks this offseason. It's going to be very interesting. Nobody here on this desk said Corey Seager. I think that's going to be a very interesting lefty bat if he does leave the Dodgers. But that's all for this week on WP Sports Desk. Join us next time as we will break down all the action with the NFL crew and a World Series wrap-up with this MLB crew as well. Don't forget to follow us at Sports Desk WP on Twitter and Instagram for updates and more. Thank you to all the cast and crew, and a special thank you to our studio manager, Al Clarke. From Studio B in Hamilton Hall, and for everyone here at the desk, I'm Samory Rose. See you guys next time.